This part of my New Mexico trip would take me back to Arizona where I first started. I'd be spending time in Chiricahua National Monument and Tombstone. I woke up early in the morning in the town of Willcox, Arizona. I headed over to the Country Pride restaurant for some breakfast, which was biscuits and gravy and some eggs sunny side up. Then it was off to see the Chiricahua National Monument. After about a 40-minute drive, I came to my destination, Chiricahua National Monument. I didn't have a lot of time, so I chose the Echo Canyon Grottoes Trail to hike on. I had read that it was considered easy and allows you to walk among the rock formations. Easy is right up my alley. I'm on the trail, hiking among the giant pinnacles. Here's a shot of a lot of the pinnacles in the distance. Here's a nice peephole. I thought, since I'm on the Echo Canyon Trail, I might as well see if it can live up to the name it was given. I'm on the Echo Canyon Trail on the Chiricahua National Monument. Let's give it a try. Echo!
Echo!
Hello!
Shut your pie hole, Mark!
Here's a large rock monolith beside the trail. There's a trail, and there's a bunch of hoodoos there in the distance. It looks like a dead end, but it's just a trail going between two large rocks. A couple of large rock pillars towering above me.
There's the trail. Look up. Yikes! Look at that rock just barely sitting there. Whatever you do, don't sneeze.
Well, what do you know? Look at the time. I guess it's time I head back. This turned out to be a really nice hike. But now I've got to get to my car and head to Tombstone, Arizona. I had driven several miles when I came across this sign in the road.
Watch for animals on the road. You know, I think I'm capable of doing that. There's one. There's another. And there's another. Holy cow, there's a whole bunch of them. This is too easy. Give me something harder.
So after a little backtracking and more driving and seeing more animals, I made it to my destination. Actually, before getting to Tombstone, you hit the famous Boot Hill, where more scoundrels and rogues have been buried than you can shake a 9-foot bullwhip at. This is where you pay $6 for an adult to enter the Boot Hill graveyard. Here's a sign that was posted inside the entrance building, and that goes for everyone. Here it is, Boot Hill, a lonesome looking place if I ever saw one. You get a pamphlet when you enter Boot Hill, follow the directions, and it pretty much tells you about every grave. But it's also fun just to wander and read the epitaphs on your own. Some of them, like this one, are pretty straightforward. And a surprising number of them simply read, unknown. Here's probably the most famous grave site in the cemetery. This is where Billy Clanton, Frank McClary, and Tom McClary were all gunned down in 1881 at the OK Corral. Now here's a look at some other headstones. Some of these headstones are pretty eloquent. Some tell a story of what happened. Some are kind of macabre, but downright funny. Now this was a pretty big shock, running across a tombstone with my name on it. I guess in a past life, I was a rotten scoundrel who got what he deserved. But you know, I've never thought of myself as being rotten. What's this about died not soon enough? I saved the best for last. Here lies less or more. 4 slugs from a 44. No less, no more. After this, I got back in my car and headed a short distance to the town of Tombstone. You know you come into town when you come across this great statue of Wyatt Earp. If that doesn't convince you that you're in Tombstone, then take a look at the name of this street. Only a tough town like Tombstone could have a street named Tough Nuts. The town is small enough to see on foot, so I found myself a parking spot when hiking up Allen Street to see the sights. For a price, you can take a ride on an actual stagecoach, the Uber or Lyft of 1881. Shady's Ladies Closet. Boy, I can't even tell you where my fantasies went when I saw this. And this place isn't helping much either. At 326 East Allen Street, I came to the spot where the actual gunfight at the OK Corral took place. For a price, you can see a reenactment of the shootout. I opted for the lesser price and chose just to see the actual site. The first thing you see after walking out the back exit of the store where admission is sold is this little shack. This is a replica of the prostitutes' cribs, and at one time they lined the streets of Tombstone. You see, back in 1881, prostitution was perfectly legal in Arizona. Both Wyatt Earp's second wife and Doc Holliday's girlfriend worked in the world's oldest profession. But this is what I came to see, the actual site of the OK Corral gunfight. Now these mannequins are placed right where Wyatt Earp remembered and wrote down. I believe that's Doc Holliday in the back with the shotgun, and Wyatt Earp is the guy in the middle. What surprised me was how close the two opposing sides stood against each other. Not much room for error. Directly across from where the gunfight took place was this plaque immortalizing what happened to Frank and Tom McLaury and Billy Clanton after the shootout. All that bloodletting made me hungry, so I went walking down the boardwalk looking for a place to eat. On the boardwalk were several plaques telling the wilder history of Tombstone. This could be a good place to eat. Up the street was the famous Crystal Palace, built in 1882. At one time, the upstairs was the office of Virgil Earp. Downstairs, Wyatt Earp ran the gaming and Doc Holliday dealt poker. But I decided on going to Big Nose Kate's Saloon. They serve food and drinks, plus I heard the service is great, but what I really wanted was a nice, quiet place to sit down and eat. So let's go in and check it out. Here's a picture of what it looked like in Big Nose Kate's once the fight went out into the street. A picture of my dark beer, kraut dog, and fries. All 3 were delicious. Hanging on the wall was your tastefully done, classic barroom painting. No Western saloon should be without one. Here's a picture of Doc Holliday and Big Nose Kate on the wall. Big Nose Kate was Doc's on-again, off-again girlfriend. And she ran the first brothel in Tombstone. How she got her nickname is up to debate. Some say it was because she had a rather large nose. Others say it was because she was always sticking her nose in other people's business. Next, I headed over to take a look at the famous Birdcage Theater. In its heyday, it was quite the wild place. Nowadays, you can enter the bottom part of it for free, but pay an entrance fee to see the rest of the museum. I've read where you can see bullet holes in the wall from the numerous gunfights there. My last stop in Tombstone was the Fallen Angel Sweet Sin Parlor. Yeah, I know what you guys are thinking. And just because I walked in with a handful of dollar bills, the owners thought that that's what I was thinking too. But I just came in to buy myself something sweet to eat. In fact, I used a couple of those dollar bills to buy myself a delicious peanut butter cookie. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It was getting late, so I drove the 25 some odd miles back to the town of Benson and got ready for the next day. Tomorrow I'll be heading to Tucson, where I'll be spending most of the day at the Saguaro National Park.